Thank you for joining me. We'll get right into it this evening. My name is Julianne Duffy. I am going live here on YouTube. You might be watching recording on Rumble or YouTube. Thank you if you are watching after. We're going to jump into the charts and the energies for October 2025, and we're going to highlight the energies that I pulled, what we're looking at for the month of October, and then we're going to we'll pull some oracle cards on the best advice, and then go forward from there. So thank you so much. Let's get right into it. So October, our theme is really discipline to truth, healing, and new beginnings. So really, we're going to see quite an assortment of different energies through the month of October. It's going to start very much a lot of truth to then the healing part, and then we're going to really be looking at new beginnings as we come mid-October going into November. So it's going to be very interesting when we get into that part of the month, and where a lot of this truth and a lot of this stuff is coming forward. Okay, and I don't know if I am frozen. Can you check and see if I am frozen? Just to make sure. And if not, we're good. We are good. Okay, so we're really gonna have a tightening of structures as we come into the beginning of the month. And then we're gonna see that we're gonna have some boundaries and move through some powerful new truths, as I mentioned. And it really closes with emotional healing, and where we're going to see some of the things I think will be mirrored when we get into 2026. So it's kind of like we get to the end of October going into December is a preview of where we are going to be headed. So as we jump into the month, I also wanted to highlight how I've heard a lot about the Atlas comet, and how the energies also match. So I'm going to just kind of briefly go over each of the weeks, and then also how that does mirror what we're seeing as we go through the month of October, which is going to be really from all this truth through to healing to a new beginning is where we're going to be headed. So as we start into this new week, we're here for October 1st. If you haven't said it already, rabbit, starting this month off. So this first week of the month, we're building a lot of pressure. So we've got Saturn and Mercury and Libra highlighting contracts, balance, and accountability. So those are all the themes that really are coming up at the beginning of this month. We have Venus in Virgo, which is nitpicky in love and health, but great for organizing. So really, the theme overall as we start this month is checking our foundations, strengthening our routines, finances, and agreements. So when we come into the beginning of this month, cracks are going to show in our systems of things that we might need to strengthen up, change, adjust in some way, right? So maybe, our mornings are a little chaotic, so we're starting to have to get up earlier or go to bed earlier so we can get up earlier, so we have a little bit less chaos. That's an example. Maybe we're having tiny shifts like checking your things for subscriptions and stuff like that, like going and shifting. Are we using everything? Is it time, especially if finances come up, it might be a good time to organize what you're paying for and essentially cutting off things that are no longer of any benefit, right? And then, so renegotiation is also very highly recommended as the start of October. Now, how this is amplified through the Comet Atlas, it really highlights the actions that we are aligned. Are they clean, structured, or are they scattered, right? So things that are scattered that aren't going to be supporting us, we're going to have to start cutting off those ends and start letting go of things that aren't of value. Hello, Rose. Thank you for joining me. As we dive into the charts and the energies for October. And so that's really where the messenger energy magnifies accountability. So we're going to see a lot more accountability coming from the beginning of October. Then we're going to jump into the second week. So we're going to get into from October 6th to about the 12th, the energy of that time. We're getting a lot more courageous. We've got Mars entering Leo right before the 6th of October. So this is a lot of bold action, courage, ego. We're also in the first quarter moon. So this energy is still very active And so the theme of kind of as we go into the second week of October is, are we acting from pride or from our heart, right? So what's really important kind of as we begin this week, this month, is just going like, if it's fake or very ego, very much about showing off or making ourselves feel better, it's not really from a heart centered. It's gonna be heavy. It's not gonna manifest what you're really looking for. Now, if it comes really from an aligned, heart centered part, where the decision isn't about just wanting to win, it's about, doing what is most aligned, it's going to be a lot lighter and more, and a little bit easier to go with that energy. Hello, Millid. Thank you for joining me. And so it's really, as we get into the second week of October, a lot of courage is coming up, but avoid that ego, the pride, that kind of energy is going to be heavy. The showing off isn't going to really align. We really want whatever we're pushing to be from that heart-based love center. Fake is going to backfire. Authenticity is going to open more doors. We're planting seeds, because when we're getting into the second week of October, once we get into the third week, kind of towards the 18th of October, we've got a lot of energy changing, which sets us up to see where we're going to be going kind of mid to end of 2026. So whatever we're planting now and what we're going to kind of mirror and see as we go through October is October into December is what we're going to kind of see going forward. So it's really, we're setting up all those important parts. So if you are very fake and very surface, that's not going to assist you in this time. It's going to be much more about being authentic and real. I think we're a little tired of AI. Not that AI isn't good, and there's some benefits to it, but I think we're looking for more authenticity, and you want to talk to real humans. You want to have more interaction with things that aren't fake, right? So that's going to come up with the energy as we come into kind of mid of October. And where it is, we're also seeing the mirror of truth being tested. So, as pressure to choose clarity over our ego, which is what we're really seeing with that energy. Now, as we jump into the third week of October, this is also when we're going to hit the full moon. And this is also the time where we're going to start. We go from October 18th onwards, where the energy really amps up to mirror where we're going. Hello, Sky TZY. Thank you for joining. Where am I from? Well, I'm from planet Earth, and I live in North America. Currently, as I've been traveling, I am outside of Toronto, in some random place in the woods. So that is where I am. But let's jump into the third week of October and the energies. So this week we're going to expect some emotional spikes. Maybe there's a lot of anger, frustration under the surface. Bird things are going to start to come out. So this might be like there's some tense issues might come up. Some of the themes with technology issues, conflicts, travel chaos, and then hidden truths are really surfacing. That's the energy that we have as we're coming into the middle of October. And the 18th really highlights a lot of that internal issues. That energy is really highlighted when we come into and around the 18th of October. So hidden truth surfacing, that anger, it's a lot also about us learning to let go of things that might be triggering us. So we might come into some old wounds. So things that have come up, right around this time, we'll have had Canadian Thanksgiving, and then we're going to be going into more of the holiday seasons. So, maybe we're having family conversations and some of this stuff might be coming up. And it's a really good time during the middle of October to have those wounds heal. It's like the whole thing of like talking about it and time to decide to move on from those type of traumas. So that might come up in your life as well. And definitely now from the middle of October till December, this energy and what we're going to see is going to mirror where we're going in 2026. And the highlight, what our Comet Atlas really amplifies, is revelations, and that they feel cosmic, not just personal. And it's face it, don't chase it. So it's a lot of us actually having to look at what is coming into having to be dealt with, whether it is a family issue, and like I mentioned, old wounds, talking about it and time to let it go and cut it off. That gangrene, just at this point, we can't fix it. You can't put enough maggots on it to clear out that stuff. We have to chop it off, you know, and hopefully we can change whatever the actual problem is. You know, we're going to heal the wound, stop it now, you know, brand it, stop the wound from continuing to bleed, right? So then we go into the 4th week of October. So we're looking around the October 20th to 26th. And this is an emotional review. So this is where we're coming to the rounding of the themes, where we're now going to go into new beginnings by the 5th week. So we actually have 5 weeks in October, but we're getting the emotional part where we're really looking at the honesty in our conversations, gentle connections, not blaming. So continuing that healing that we were seeing kind of mid-October, of these things coming up that it's time for us to let go of. And it's also the becoming personally aware of a lot of old emotional cycles that may come up that we have to heal, that it's time that we're just done dealing with it, because we notice that we're always, for whatever reason, same person, same situation, it seems to trigger us in the same ways. At this point, we are definitely in alignment to allow ourselves to choose to be like, I'm done with this. I'm going to let this go. It is time to move on. I'm just tired. I'm done. And it's going to be very amplified, and it's going to be easier. Okay, yes, I know. I know we hear dogs in the background. Dogs in the background. Okay, so that is as we come into the 5th week of October. So that's the end of October, the 27th, going into early November. That's our new beginning window, which is going to be interesting because, as I mentioned, all of this is going to flow going into December. So all of this stuff from October, kind of going through this healing and seed process. Thank you, Biddy. And then going into these new beginnings. So we're going to see as we come into the end of the month that there is fresh contracts, there's more justice and balance. So we're going to really start to feel that there's more fairness, there's more contracts with self and others are just more fresh and new and just a little bit more balanced and fair, right? So we've decided at this point we're not doing the same anymore. We're changing the cycle, because it's the whole idea of like doing the same thing expecting a different outcome. Well, at this point we're deciding what we're going to drop and we're going to let go of, and then choose what we're going to continue building with. So as we come through the other part of October, which is the end of October, the 28th, 29th, this is a major activation window as well. So we have Mars in Scorpio, Saturn in Pisces, and Jupiter in Cancer. So as we come through the end of the month, which really is highlighted with the new beginnings, is new agreements, harmony, and moving forward energies. So if you've been feeling very much like we've been stuck in these old energies, or personally stuck in an energy, this is going to help you, and we're going to definitely start to feel like we're starting to move forward when we get to the end of October, which will bring in that new beginning energy as well. So mid-October, the 18th, going to December 5th, as I mentioned, is really this opening a big healing cycle that will mirror at some level. It'll be interesting to see, because it very is highlighted to mirror what will be going on next summer. And that's also with the comet that's coming by, that Atlas comet. At the end of the month, it goes from us being alert to assignment. So the energy supports sealing new agreements, personal covenants, and fresh partnerships. So it's just mirroring that we're coming to some new fresh energy as we come through the month. So October, we can really see that this is the first cracks of the major consciousness changing that is going to roll forward. There's a lot of things, like we've already been seeing a lot of cracks, but it's probably where we're going to feel the biggest cracks. Like maybe there's a bigger opening of a change in the consciousness of us and as humans. Still takes some time to roll out, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see how this month rolls out. So do stay with me. If you haven't, like and subscribe. You will stay up to date for when I go live. And I do a weekly update every Sunday of what the energies and each day of the week coming. So you can go and be notified when I post those up, so you can stay tuned and be up to date with where the charts are. And if you are interested in your own personalized reading, so you can specifically see how the charts will affect you, like the alignments and your personal I call it charts, but we look at your Vedic, your Western, your astrocartology, your numerology, your human design, and we get the really heavy energetic themes to help guide you. So if you want your own personal reading, you can go to my website, breathewithinyoga.com, and there, one of the first links is the soul map, and I'm happy to do a personal reading for you. But before we go, let's pull some cards for the month of October. First, we'll pull where we're finding opening. So really, like, what truth is ready to surface as we go through October. So let's start with that for our cards for the month of October. So where is the truth ready to surface as we go through October, and what are we getting ready to see, especially those that are here and watching at this moment? What is going to be prevalent, opened, witnessed, seen by us in October? We've got happy. So we have the happy card. So I feel like the energies that what we're going to see surface in October is that we're going to start to feel happier. Like, we're going to start to feel that release from the energy, and we're going to definitely be happy. That the energy is going to be amplified. That's ready to surface, is ready for us to start to get more in alignment, feel a little bit more at ease. I feel like that there's definitely been, I don't know about you, but in my personal life, there's been a lot of ease and a lot of stress this year, and just high energies and tensions. So when we come into October, what's ready to surface is this happy. This new beginning energy is going to start to become a little bit clearer, a little bit more prevalent, because that's really what we want to see, and it's being supported. So that's what we're going to start to see open in October. And then we're going to go with the messenger's test. So what must be released for us to have these revelations and to really get into being able to be in that highest energy, that happy energy? What do we need to let go of that will assist us to really walking into this new beginning of these beautiful energies that are going to manifest out? It's just time, right? The time we're looking at is kind of next summer. What is it going to mirror like? How is this energy going to look? So what is being highlighted to be released? We have building blocks. So what is being highlighted that we need to, I feel like not so necessarily as much to release, but that we have to accept that we're still putting a lot of these building blocks to place. So what we're going to see through mid-October, kind of going into the next month to the beginning of December, is that showing what these building blocks are leading towards, right? So it's really, we're releasing the things that we're blocking, these abilities to build this, but we're going to start to see that the right blocks are being put in place to build and assist us, and then releasing the things that aren't going to assist us on that. And then as we go into what is our new beginning, what can we step into? Like, what energies can we have, right? So the soul contract, new beginnings, can I step into in the new moon in Libra? So what are we being guided to step into when we come into this new moon, this new beginning? What are we being guided to take our energy and focus into? We got time to go. Put that energy in that it's time to go into the new. If we look at this card, this one here, it's like time to go, and it's like going to the top, right? It is time to put our energy into where we want to go, right? So that, I feel like, is the new beginning energy of what we want to do. Is it's time to go forward with what we want to create. So it's at taking those first steps into, again, those seeds. So if you've been planting the seeds, it's continuing planting those seeds. The seeds are going to take hold and just get deeper and ready to blossom, and you're going to start to see some of it pay off in these next month and a half-ish as we go through, and then you're going to kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like when we come into summer of next year. So that is really the guidance as we go through October. And you know, it's going to be interesting. We'll watch the comet, see how the comet comes, see if you get any inspirations, any downloads, and be open that we're on this train of more truths and more things being clear. A little bit of chaos mid-October, but then it's going to really open up that we're getting more emotionally aligned and we're starting those new beginnings and where we are going to head. Hello, Anya. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me live. That is the energies. If anybody does have any questions before I jump off tonight, I'm happy to pull a card. I won't pull a chart because I don't want you to share your personal information online. However, if you are interested in have a question, you can type it in the chat and I will pull a card for you. And once again, if you are looking for your own personal reading where you're going to get your specific charts on how all of this energy is going to affect you in the next month, next 6 months, the next year, go to my website, breathewithinyoga.com, and you can get your own personal reading with your charts. And if not, that's okay. Every week on Sundays, I go live and give you the energy update for the week. So stay subscribed to get notified for when I do go live so you can get an idea of the energies for each week. And since there is no questions, I'm going to head off for this evening. I intend you're having a beautiful, beautiful night this October 1st. I can't believe we're already in October. Time travels quite weirdly this year, but we're October 1st, and I will see everybody on Sunday for the weekly review and the weekly overview for next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful night. Good night.